All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the Cleveland Cavaliers last night against the Lakers. It was not a great performance. We talked about the game in particular earlier in the show, but we got to talk about the two bigs. Evan Mobley just finished the best month of his career in March. Jarrett Allen had the best month of his career in February. Both coincide with the addition of James Harden. What we haven't seen yet, Jay, Dustin, and Chris, is the two bigs play at this level you see on the screen when they're both on the court together. Allen's dominant February came with Mobley out with the calf injury. Mobley's exceptional March came with Allen out for the majority of it, dealing with his knee injury. So, Chris, if you're Kenny Atkinson, is it possible to get this version of each big when they're both playing together?
It better be, because you're paying a lot of money for these guys. They're two of your cornerstones of this team, and if they want to win an NBA championship, they're going to have to figure it out. I think when you look at Allen and Mobley, the thing that they have in common is neither one is overly demonstrative. They're not the alpha male on the court, but we've seen that when they've gotten better in those months without each other. If they're going to coexist, I think they need to have some sort of chemistry with, all right, I'm going to be the alpha dog this time, you're going to be alpha dog. And it kind of seems like when they're not playing that way, they're kind of waiting for the other one to take charge. I want to see one of them take the reins, have the other one play off each other, and vice versa. And guys, I almost go back to the show Ted Lasso. You ever seen Ted Lasso?
Best show.
Love it.
Great show. Remember when they were trying to get the guys all on the same page and to play with each other without thinking they tied strings to certain parts of them?
Yes.
I kind of want something like that with these guys so that they can kind of cohesively, just instinctively know where each other is, because it seems like they're trying to feel each other out and neither one wants to take the reins. But one of them is going to have to if they're going to coexist.
It's hard because I think their personalities they're both such great teammates and a little passive towards each other. Yeah, I mean, there's some alpha tendencies to them, but they're not all the way like when one's on the court, they feel more comfortable being the big, and it's just I don't know if it's ever going to work with these two. I hope it does. I've been saying it for years that it's just something's off with those two, and they need to break that up. But it was exciting when James Harden was traded for, because all of a sudden Jarrett Allen got involved, and I think it was because James Harden made a concerted effort to get him the ball, especially in the paint, and obviously that has worked out. His numbers, as Mikey put up, were tremendous when he was playing before his injury. But I'm still concerned, and that's why these last 6 games are huge for these guys to build this chemistry.
Yeah, I'm probably more in that camp too. I don't think we're never going to see, they're not going to average 42 points combined.
No.
Especially with Mitchell and Harden also.
No,
the ball's only going in so many times.
There's only one basketball, and your two best players play with the ball in their hand the majority of the time. So they're picking up leftovers. Mike, in the history of the NBA, I can think of the Houston Rockets with the Twin Towers, Hakeem and Dikembe. But it's rare that you have two bigs that are the two centerpieces of your team.
Duncan and Robinson.
Another one in
Technically,
Texas-based.
if you want, not apples to apples, but the Wallace brothers in Detroit, Rasheed and Ben.
Yeah,
not the focal point of the offense, but two of them.
They were pieces. They were nice pieces, and maybe that's what we can hope for here as a bar, something to shoot for. But the game of basketball is not built or played to be dominated by two people in the middle. What does the game become? It's a perimeter game.
Yeah.
And so, really, by definition, they're kind of like middle relievers, if I'm going to make a baseball analogy. You need them to win. They're important. But no one's ever going to win a World Series because, boy, their middle relief is
Man, Kobe Allard really led the Guardians to that World Series, let me tell you.
That's not what it is. So there's roles. The starting pitchers would probably be your point guards. The bullpen would probably be your wing players. And the bigs are your middle relievers. It's good if they're above average and they can contribute. But I don't think, Mike, in today's NBA, they're ever going to be the reason a team wins an NBA championship.
I wouldn't say never.
Okay.
And when you look at college basketball right now, there's been a trend. So let's go forward. The three-point shot became so prevalent, it was the only thing that mattered.
Yes.
And look at Arizona and Michigan right now in
that's
college
a good
basketball.
point.
Two teams. Michigan has the 2 7-footers. Arizona took the second fewest threes per game of any team in the country this year.
Yeah.
And they are arguably the most efficient offense in college basketball history.
Is it because they zigged when everybody else zagged?
It's a little bit of a zig and zag, and college is not the NBA. The shooters in the NBA are better. It's harder to get that much of a difference in your bigs versus other teams' bigs. So I'm not saying it's exactly apples to apples, but I do think we're seeing the pendulum swing a little bit back towards a bigger brand of basketball. In terms of getting them to work together, Harden's the key here, but I think more importantly than Harden is how well those two can create space when neither's a shooter. And that's where Kenny and his mad scientist brain and his cutting offense, which last year when they had the number one offense in the NBA, they were also the number one cutting offense in the NBA. You don't have to be a three-point shooter to create space. You have to move at the right time. And if they can find a way to weave Harden's offensive style with the high pick and roll and want everyone to be stationary into what Kenny Atkinson wants to do, which is have your bigs cut, timed cuts, not random cuts, but timed cuts to open up lanes and create space at certain times, there is a chance it can work together. But that's why those guys get paid millions of dollars and
to figure that out.
Talking about it.
But
I don't have the answer. I do think it's possible.
I think it's interesting that you said James is the key, because I can see that. His ability to get the basketball to bigs is even better than I knew it to be.
It's one of one.
And I knew him to be a distributor, and particularly somebody who could get it to the low post, but watching him on a night in, night out basis, I have a far greater appreciation for his ability to do that. And Mike, I think you are onto something. I think that is, like, it's not an unsolvable Rubik's Cube. There is a solution to this, and I think James Harden is probably the key to it.
I want Chris and Dustin's opinion on this. We talked about it yesterday. Against Utah, last night, throw it out the window. Against Utah, it looked like James was dribbling and only shooting to force Utah to respect the shot so he can create an angle to get the ball to Evan Mobley. He was the only big in that game.
Which worked.
But his entire point of being on the court that night was to feed the big. He's done it with Allen in the past. Chris and Dustin, when you two watch how Harden's come, I think that's the biggest difference between Darius and James. James has made a priority every single night to get the bigs involved. Darius was playing within the flow of the offense, but it wasn't giving up good shots to force feed the bigs down low.
Yeah, I think that's what we said last week when we talked about the biggest difference with James Harden with this team is the fact that Darius was good in the open floor in transition. Yeah, great with the transition threes, but in the playoffs, it's the half court that matters. James is so good at directing things from the half court, and that plays right into having Mobley in the paint, having Allen in the paint, and that's why you brought him here, because you just said Darius wasn't going to be the guy to stand at the top of the key, say, you got to respect my shot, but I'm going to pass dudes open.
Yeah.
He could make the shot. He was not great at passing dudes open in the half court. James is obviously great, and I wonder if the solution, I'm throwing this out there into the ether, is the solution for having these two guys play well together, having one come off the bench more and kind of spacing them. Allen plays a certain amount of minutes, then Mobley comes and subs him out, so you have that attack back to back.
I think absolutely, right, Mike? I mean, they're having their best performances in absence of the other one. Because it is hard to get two of them involved like that, but if you rest them and checkerboard them on the floor, James has proven he can get the ball to either one of them, and it can be successful.